What is good, YouTube? What is good, YouTube? Essential here, back with another video. Today I will be going over the equipment I use when going out and doing my own performances. So like gigs, street performances, performing at small venues, and all of that good stuff. So if you haven't already, like the video, because this video is about to be a banger, and please subscribe. And yeah, I'm gonna try and keep it short and sweet. So try to stick with me for the whole video, and yeah, let's get into it. So starting with one of the main items that I use, me being a guitarist, you guessed it, is my guitar. Oh yeah. This is my Strandberg headless guitar. As you can see, the head does not have a headstock, and it's very lightweight. I think it weighs like 4 pounds. With all the crazy stunts and movement I'm doing, you can't go wrong with a headless guitar. If you've been keeping up with Essential and been, following with us for a while, you know that I am a big fan of headless guitars just because of how convenient they are with the type of work that I do. So that's that. And sitting right beneath the guitar is the guitar stand. So the guitar stand I use is a universal Fender guitar stand, so it can fit just about any type of guitar stand. You can adjust the knobs, change it how you see fit. Reason why I went with this guitar stand is because, as you can see, the body shape of this Strandberg headless guitar is very weird. So there's not a lot of guitar stands out there that supports Strandberg headless guitars unless you buy one of Strandberg's personal guitar stands. And yeah, it's just something to throw in the bag on the go. You can fold it up if you want to, and it's just easy to put into the bag and go. So along with my guitar, I have my guitar bag, and inside my guitar bag I keep extra picks. Inside is where I store my Bluetooth instrument jack, my business cards, extra string just in case a string breaks mid-performance or before the performance. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Next up we have my pedal case. It's a cheap pedal case that I've gotten offline on Amazon. I want to say it was like 40 bucks. If you want the really good ones, they're like 100 plus. But for someone that's only doing like small gigs, local performances, I don't need to aim so high. And this does the job pretty well. So it's still in good shape. My equipment are still in good shape. So that should tell you something. Inside it, of course, is my pedal board with my Quad Cortex sitting on top of it for my gigs. All I use for my effects is my Quad Cortex, and sometimes I'll use a microphone, and sometimes I'll use this TC Helicon mic pedal. It does some cool effects to the voice if you're doing like singing or talk shows, or just talking through the mic and all that. The type of pedal board that I'm using is the Tempo Audio pedal board. I got the small one, very small, very compact. As you can see, I try to bring as less equipment as possible and try to keep the load very small and very compact, so I'm not carrying a whole lot, especially to these small local performances. So the less cords and the less equipment I bring, the better. Okay, so yeah. What I also have inside this pedal board is this very small XLR cable to hook my Quad Cortex up to my speaker, which is right here, actually. This thing right here. This is my Mackie Thumb Go. I highly recommend this speaker if you are, like I said, trying to do a performance or a gig on the go. It's very small, very lightweight, as you can see. Let's go over some of the specs and the settings that are on the Mackie Thumb Go. So as you can see, it has 2 channels and then one main channel strip right here for the main volume. Typically I'll hook up my XLR cable that's hooked up to my pedal amp, my Quad Cortex, up to channel 1, and then I'll plug in my microphone into channel 2, and then you can mess with the gain. It's Bluetooth, so no cables, which is a good thing for me at least. You can click the pair button right here if you want to hook up like your laptop or your iPhone, if you're trying to play like a backing track or something like that. What's even cooler about the speaker is that you can actually link another Mackie Thumb Go speaker up to this with this link button right here. All you gotta do is press on it, and then boom, it's that easy. And sometimes I do this, one of my friends that I go out and perform with on the Beltline here in Atlanta, we'll do like a bunch of flips and tricking and all that and talk shows, and he'll bring his speaker and then I'll hook mine up to his speaker, and that way we have like 2 speakers. Sometimes the crowds are very big, sometimes they're not. It's just a very cool feature to have, and be flexible when you're having to deal with bigger crowds and you need you know, a wider range of sound. So that's that. Right. Next up we have is this power station. When you're in the go, when you're outside and performing, you can't go wrong with having a power station. Because what if there aren't any outlets around, you know? So having a power station allows me to perform anywhere. I could be, you know, out in the middle of the street, or, you know, on the beach, or let's say the power went out at a venue. Boom, problem solved. So yeah, it has two 3-prompt inputs. Typically, I'll hook up my quad cortex to this power station. Everything else, I purposely made it so where it's Bluetooth, and like I said, the less wires I have to carry, the better. And as you can see, it has a bunch of USB inputs. It even has this cool like flash thing going on, like a little flashlight. So if you're like in the dark, you know, I can light up my equipment if I can't see it. You know, I can light up my pedal board, and it kind of just gives like a cool visual if you're like on stage. So that's just a cool extra feature that I really like. And yeah, it's important to get you one of these. You can't go wrong with having one of these. All right. And next up is my gig bag. So inside this gig bag is just a bunch of, you know, accessories. I like to bring these weightlifting gloves with me just because they have like this extra padding that can protect my hands when I'm doing flips on concrete. In this bag, I have a bunch of extra instrument cables in case my Bluetooth instrument jack dies. You can't go wrong with having extra instrument cables in your bag. And even if you don't use a Bluetooth instrument jack, you know, let's say you use an instrument cable and it's, you know, those things, they sometimes stop working. So it's good to have an extra one just to avoid that situation. And then, you know, if you're a guitarist or you play any other instruments and you have to rely on that, then, you know, you're kind of screwed if you don't have a backup. So I also have my PowerCon cable, which hooks up to my quad cortex, and I plug that into the power station. I have this hat, you know, just fun accessories. I try to put on my best performance, so I use anything possible that I can make out and just be able to give folks a really good time. You know, it's my little Michael Jackson thing going on here. But yeah, also within this gig bag is my laptop. So, you know, my laptop is the, you know, the brains of the whole thing, because I have my soundtracks on there, and having, you know, my soundtracks, my backing tracks it's just a huge opponent of my performance. So, and down here I have my DJ stand or DJ table. It's good to have one of these, especially if you have like a laptop or something to take with you to rest your items on, you know. And it's foldable too, portable. It's very easy to carry around. And yeah, next is my microphone and my mic stand. So I forgot the name of this microphone. It's one of the Shure microphones, but it's pretty good. I got this one for its durability. It's very durable, just so, you know, if I drop it, it won't get damaged so easily, especially with me being, you know, outside on concrete. So yeah, need a microphone for if I'm singing or talking or just communicating to the audience. Yeah, and along with your microphone, you should have a mic stand. Okay, also very durable. You know, don't settle for a cheap mic stand. Go for a durable mic stand that's going to last you for a long time, because in the long run it's going to save you a lot of money. Okay, right along that, I have my camera bag. So I do like to record my performances for, you know, content reasons. So inside my camera bag, typically I'll use the camera that I'm using to record this video right now, which is my Sony a6400. But other items I have inside this bag are extra batteries. You know, these cameras, these high quality cameras, they die very quickly. So it's good to have extra batteries, you know, extra lenses, just in case you want to do like long shots or close-ups. Normally I use like the long shot lenses so I can get everything, the whole scenery. I also got extra cords, my gimbal for other cool shots. It's good to have extra cameras. And yeah, that's pretty much it. All right, you guys, that is it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. That is all the equipment I use when I'm going out and doing live performances. Let me know what other type of musical content you like to see in the near future. Of course, we got entertaining flipping videos coming along the way. I've got some in the works right now. Those should be very fun. Stay tuned for those type of videos. I think you guys will really enjoy them. I'm wanting to touch on a variety of different entertaining content ideas from an entertainer or a performer aspect. So whether that's music, dance, or stunts, anything in that realm, you know, even acting, you know, I don't really see myself as an actor, but I'll do it for this channel. Create, you know, small, cool videos of that. But yeah, lots of dope new stuff coming on the way. Stay tuned for those. Essential is out.